Y'all is back to another round. How y'all doing? Hey, it's your girl Jay.
What's up, everybody? It's Shawn Unfiltered.
And we are here with the Miss Beautiful Sabrina Seoul from Ready to Love DC. How are you doing, lady?
I am well, honey. We
Yeah,
had a little backstage action,
we had a
so
little backstage get together. She was getting us together, baby.
honey child.
Woo, child. Y'all come on in. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and get started because we was kind of already started, y'all. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. We had
I'm gonna try to keep that same energy though.
That's right. We was pre-gaming back here, so we was getting the tea boiled and ready.
Water shots. We all had water shots in the back.
Y'all know I'ma always keep it 100. I don't gotta be fugazi for nothing. So, but I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for having me. I've been watching y'all since the beginning of the season. I've been sliding in the chats, definitely supporting you guys. So I just want to say thank you for the love and the support. You know, love the opinions, the good, bad, indifferent, and ugly. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Y'all had to do what you had to do. So I appreciate y'all.
No, we had, I had to bring my pixie cut in real quick for you, real quick.
I know you look really cute today. You look really, really cute today. I'm feeling the whole look.
I was like, let me switch it up because Sabrina be switching it up too, so I can do it too. She ain't gonna come up here upstaging me. No, just
no, honey, you're not gonna get much from me these days. I literally just rolled out of bed, threw some lashes and some lip gloss on, and you're not gonna get much these days.
You're looking good. It's that natural. That
exactly,
natural
Shawn. She done upstage me that easy. Look, I'm
oh my God, whatever, Jay.
Talking about I rolled out of bed, put some lashes on. Look, I done did all this.
And you look good. Let me tell you something. Like I'm feeling like I need to change my daddy shirt. The collar all wrinkled and all. You can't even really tell. It's all bent up and stuff. I was like, I'm just gonna throw a shirt on. It is what
no
it is.
worries. We is comfortable over here. That's how we get down. We like to have fun. So you know you in the right spot. You'd have been all through our lives laughing and puffing the eyes and everything. So you already know how me and Shawn kiki and tell our 2 cents.
Yeah,
even though we still get shot down for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I love it. Your hair looks amazing.
Thank you. I had to dig her up. I was like, let me go get Keith. Let me go get her back real quick.
I know that's right. Where Isabel at? I see her every day.
Right.
Shawn, like, I don't know. I'm gonna let them finish talking.
I'm gonna be Walter. I'll be a vase.
Honey, well, you ain't be in the water. You ain't be in the water from today, Walter. I tell you that.
No, it's Walter from the reunion. Walter.
Oh, okay. I was great saying because there's a whole bunch of different ones.
Yeah, like no, not that Walter.
That's Walter 2.0. I'm not gonna touch that.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Y'all are funny.
We could just blame Kojo. You know, he has that effect on people. They just like to sit up and talk for hours and spill their guts, and then before you know it, they just talking about things that they didn't even know they was going to talk about. So
yeah. Well, you know what? Kojo is a very good listener. That's why. You know, like it literally, he asked one question, but the thing is he asked the right questions. So that one question was the right question that opens the floodgates for so many, different answers that they want to give. And it just needs to make sense. And then it's kind of like, well, I said this, but since I said this, now I got to say that because it has to make sense for what I just said. And then it's like, if I don't answer, then it's going to be kind of like, and then Kojo's going to be like this, and then he going to look at me funny. So it's like, I got to say that. And guess what? It's 4.5 hours later.
But then you got some people just sitting on ready with the petty, because I'm just saying some people was ready to just be like, and I got some other things I need to get off my chest too. So
yeah, facts. Because once you kind of, especially when you're the person on the other side getting interviewed, it's like, once you kind of get one thing off your chest, especially with this show experience, you want to keep, because you're like, oh, I remember this now and I remember that now. You want to get those things because we've been holding it in for so long, and we finally have the opportunity to actually like really talk about it. Yeah, like we want to talk about everything. And I can understand like what he was saying, because in a sense, that's how I was, because we had to keep quiet. Like I'd be in y'all's chats and I'd be like, heart emoji, LOL, eyes, you know, and it's like, it really, I want to be like, you know, but we couldn't, you know, so I get it. I get it. Cause yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think that's how we've come to know you. And trust me, you ain't gonna be with us here for 4 hours. This is a light time.
Oh
This
no,
is,
y'all got like an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes good with me.
yes, yes, yes. But we're gonna have fun. You know, I know you've been on the interview tour. So you know, we just want to keep it light and also get into some of the things that you haven't really covered yet. So, you know, that's our goal today. You know, and we feel like your family as is, because you have been in our chats, like you said earlier, you've been a supporter of our channels. So we appreciate you. So this conversation just feels like, you know, chopping it up with one of our friends that we've known, you know, for quite some time. So
Yeah,
that's you know, that's what we want to have here.
good.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Back at you, Mama. So let's get it started. Let's first start. Tell us about Sabrina.
Oh gosh. So Sabrina is someone that has done her work. Sabrina is healed. Sabrina won't take no mess. Sabrina will call you out. Yes. Sabrina is about living in her truth. Sabrina is about helping others. And Sabrina is a single mom, a supporter, a friend, a sister to many sisters, is a giver, an educator, a speaker, an author, a designer, and Sabrina is someone that hopes and wishes that the world can one day be a better place with better people.
That would be awesome. That would definitely be awesome. So I'll tell you what resonated with me is, of course, the first story that you shared on the show, um, taking care of your mother. And I know that's a touchy subject right now and
We can
sensitive.
discuss it. That's what I'm
Yeah,
here for.
yeah. My condolences first off. You know, our condolences, because I know Shawn said it too.
Thank you.
Um, how was that and dealing with the process?
So let me just say this. My mother wasn't sick when I was filming. It's my dad. My dad is the one that has dementia. Okay. And my dad is the one that was sick. My mom was just my mom. Like she wasn't sick at all. They were both elder. They were both older. Both of my parents are 77. So it was like my mom took care of my dad and I took care of them. You know, so it would be things where my mom would be like, come over here and call daddy's medicine for me, or come over here and help me with this, or write out the bills. And can you call this person? Because I couldn't understand them, you know, because my mom is not from this country. So it was a lot of things that she just needed help with. You know, if she's like, you know, call me, you know, Sabrina, I just went grocery shopping, because I didn't live far from them. She was like, you know, can you come over here and, you know, help me bring the groceries in the house, or, you know, so it was just things. And that's why I actually moved closer to them, because I knew they were of age, and it was just to the point where I didn't want to be living in Maryland anymore full time, because I needed to be closer. I didn't want her to be like, daddy fell and I'm 2.5 hours away. You know, so I moved back south so I could be closer to them, to be there for them just in case if any emergency situations happened. When we were filming, everything was cool. Everything was fine. No issues with my mom. We went to the reunion on November the 7th, I want to say. And that was on a Sunday. My mom went into the hospital that Thursday. And I want to say that was the 11th. And then on December 1st, she passed with stage 4 cancer. And prior to that, she had no symptoms. She wasn't sick. It was nothing happened. All I know is one day she called me and she was like, my head's hurting. I'm not feeling well. And as days went on, she just got worse and worse. It was like she just had a bad headache. And probably about the third or fourth day, I would, take my daughter to school and I would come here to take care of her. And it just was getting worse and worse. She wasn't eating. And then eventually I was like, Mom, we're going to the emergency room today. She couldn't even get up to get dressed. And I called the ambulance. The ambulance took her on that Friday. They tried to, like around noon, they tried to release her from the hospital around 8 p.m. I literally had a fit in the hospital. I went off on all the doctors and all the nurses, and I was like, no, I'm not taking my mom out of the hospital. Something is wrong with this woman, and you guys need to find out what's wrong with her. Something is wrong with her. And they were like, well, we ran all her tests. And I need to just say this too. Like, you guys got to stand up for your loved ones. And I'm so glad that I am the person that I am now, because hence 10 years ago or whatever, I would have been like, okay. But I stood up for my mom and I was like, no, I'm not taking her home. No, you guys are going to run more tests. She's not okay. Well, ma'am, the test that we ran, everything is fine. They all came back negative. Okay, moving forward. I had a fit. Yes. I went from 0 to 100. Absolutely. I didn't take her out of the hospital. They called me 8:30 that morning and told me she had 3 masses in her brain and they were cancerous. And that was after they did the CAT scan. So had I not pushed for her to stay in the hospital, I would have brought her home and she would have ended up dying here. And I would have never even known that she had cancer. And then after that, it just started to go downhill. And she passed away after that, like 3 weeks later, 3.5 weeks later.
Sorry. I know it's tough. And especially when it's so like short notice, so to speak. And yes, you have to be an advocate pushing for your parents to get the look. Because I know with my grandmother, even before this C-19 is going around, I know it's a little tougher now for a lot of people because you can't go into the hospital sometimes in certain departments and stuff. And they only take one at a time if you can and all of this stuff now. But I know prior to it, it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough to make sure because, we had a situation similar to where it's like they didn't want to give her an ice pack and she was having a stroke.
Yeah.
And they were like, you need to get clearance from our doctors. Like, why do you need clearance for an ice pack? Like, that makes absolutely no sense. So, yes, you have to stand up and fight for yours and stuff. So now with that, the full responsibility of your father is now on you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
So again, I said it in an earlier review. I say, I've been through the process. I lost years due to the process of taking care of a loved one. And kudos to you for taking that time for yourself. Even during, taking care of your dad and your mom at the time, because that opportunity, you won't get back. And, you do lose time.
Yeah.
Doing it. It's out of our love, but we lose ourselves. In that moment. And, it can be a lot on you. So I give you kudos for balancing it all. Mommyhood and being a good daughter.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sorry. So from there, let's get into a little bit of growing up to get Sabrina, because you said you started off saying that you are healed. You healed. So what did you have to heal from?
From my childhood trauma. The love that I wasn't getting from my home, the abuse from previous relationships, because I know I previously talked about a domestic violence situation from when I was growing up, but then it happened again when I got older. So, and it actually happened as an adult. It was maybe about 5 years ago. About 5 years ago, it happened where he and we got into an altercation, and we were at a gas station, and I didn't go to the pump that he wanted me to pull around to, because I wanted to go over here. And he was like, go to that pump. And I pulled around and went to the other one. And just how he was talking to me. And I just was like, yo, bro, like, you're not going to talk to me any kind of way. And I just was done with like the verbal abuse from him. Like, I was just done, you know, just talking down on me, like, you know, and it just was a lot. And I just was like, I'm done with this. So I got out of the car, and I was walking away from the car when we were at the gas station. And he came up behind me, he snuck me, and he punched me in my face. And this was in broad daylight at the gas station. And this was about 5 years ago. So, you know, it's been a lot of things that, you know, I've dealt with in my life. And, you know, I just keep saying, like, why me? Like, what is going on? You know what I mean? And hence why I went on the dating show. And I always say, like, you know, I decided to go on the show because they do this whole, I guess, vetting process. I don't know, you know, where I'm like, okay, they check their background checks. They check to see if they had any felonies. They check to see if they did psyche evals. I'm like, okay, so half the work is done for me. You know what I mean? So, yeah, because I was like, man, but you know what? You know, getting back into the dating scene, you know, I didn't know like these guys were love bombing me. I mean, it was just so much that I had fallen for, you know, with these guys. And that's why just moving forward now, I just refuse to just, you know, fall in love with someone or deal with someone because they're saying the right things or because they're doing the right things. You know what I mean? And I'm just mindful, you know, and ever since my daughter got of age, and like I said, that was 5 years ago, ever since I got, you know, and then even after that, it was a situation that I dealt with, and maybe this is one of the reasons why some of this stuff was red flags in my eyes. I dealt with someone, and this guy I was actually engaged to. And it was a situation where they kind of got caught up in a situation with a minor. And I don't know. So men that are just my age that deal with very, very, very younger women just doesn't sit too well with me, just because I was dealing with someone that got caught up in a situation that was caught up in situations with very, very young women. And I have a young daughter, very beautiful little girl. And I just have to, I'm the only parent. I just have to be protective of mine. And when she, you know, got older, I just had to be mindful of the men that I was just going to bring around her. Like, I'm scared, man. Like, I'm so scared of this world.
I definitely feel you on that, because I too have a daughter. You know, I made it to 22, so I'm like,
yeah, and
a little bit of breath.
Like, she's the only thing I have left.
Mm-hmm.
She's the only thing that I have. And I'm very protective over mines. You know what I mean? Like, I went and got 2 guns. I went and learned how to shoot and everything, you know, because I have to protect her, you know, and I just know how men can be predators, because when I was 11 and 12, I had men looking at me a certain type of way and saying things out their mouth, you know. And she's 9 years old and she looked like she's 12.
All right.
Built like she's 12. So I just have to protect her. And I just have, you know, like, if I have to be single for the rest of my life to protect her, then that's what I'll have to be. But she is my focus. She is my priority. Every decision I've ever made was for her. And I'm not going to make any more bad decisions because I'm being selfish.
Right. I like that. Because as a mom, we no longer are selfish. We can't be selfish anymore. We got to give it up.
Right.
We should be giving it up.
Right. And people that don't have kids, it's like people don't really understand it. You know, like when I try to talk to them, it's like they don't get it. But until you become a mom or a parent, Like because I was that person. I was that person without kids. And I was like, I get it. I have never felt like, I'm telling you, people that say that they've been in love, until you have a child, you really do not know what love is.
Trash,
I
you
thought
the bullet so fast.
I thought that I was in love with him and love this and love that, honey. When my daughter popped out, I was like, this is what love feels like. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Shawn, you all right over there?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I know this topic is, especially for the women, it is one that is near and dear to you. So, just giving you guys the space and room to kind of talk through that. Jay, I know you're a mama too, so a lot of that resonates with you. I will say that I remember in the end when you decided to choose yourself, that you did mention that about your daughter, and that's one thing that we've seen from you. And I hope anybody who's watching, listening, whether they like you, not like you, you're consistent. And you've said
Thank
that
you.
from the beginning. You are here for a reason, and you're making intentional choices. And you said you don't want to just bring another man in and out of your daughter's life, because you know the impact that has. So I definitely, much respect from me to
Right.
you for really being deliberate and intentional in the way you navigated this process.
Yeah. Like my daughter told me, I told her I was doing the show. She was like, you better not be kissing nobody on the camera. I don't want to see you kissing. So, I mean, in real life. And that's why you never saw me kissing at anybody on camera. You know what I mean? Like me and my daughter, we have a very strong connection. And I meant everything I said, even in the very beginning. That's why a lot of people, as episodes went on and towards the end, people are like, well, Sabrina did this and Sabrina said that. And I'm just like, y'all don't remember me saying in my casting interview, I know my worth. Like that was one of the first things, on top of the fact that couldn't have a small, I mean, I said a lot of things, you see what I'm saying? And that's like, I don't think that people really remember. And it's crazy that they even use that one little clip. I'm like, what am I go around to all the 10 guys and like be rubbing on their junk, talking about, oh no, it don't feel, you're out. Like I thought that was crazy, but it made for good TV. But throughout the whole episodes, and I appreciate that, Shawn, because throughout the whole episode, throughout the whole season, like I was like, yeah, I know my worth. I'm not gonna settle. I'm not. So I appreciate that you said that. Because I think once you get to the 7th or 8th episode, people don't remember the crap that you said in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. You know what I'm saying? I just be like, come on, guys, rewatch it. Stop it.
Look, we all live in the moment. We can't. Our mental capacity is not that.
Wow, people living for the moment. I can't.
Like,
That's why I
what?
just ignore a lot of that unnecessary stuff. I can't. I don't entertain people that's negative, especially if they all the way in the nosebleeds.
For sure. And I think the one thing also that I liked about you, and this is a question that I'll ask, is how are you able, because you would be in our chats heavy, and a lot of times you would be like, pretend I'm not here. What is that part of you like that is just so curious and is able to hear people's feedback and not take it personally? How did you develop that?
You know why? Because throughout my whole life, I've been judged and I've been talked about and I've been ridiculed and I was embarrassed and people only saw me, no matter how good I did, people only wanted to see the negative, just like some people in the chats right now. You see what I'm saying? So it don't matter how I could be like, I came from Jesus. I am Jesus's daughter. I have fed 100 people and I have built a boat like Moses, and I'm about to get all the animals and I'm about to put everybody, I want to save the world. And they would be like, no, because remember when she said, so it doesn't matter, and I learned that early on, that you can't please everybody and not everybody is going to like you. But guess what? The world don't stop. I still got these bills. And that's what I meant when I said that. Like, I still got these bills. I still got to be mommy. I still got to go and change my dad's diaper. I still got to wash him. I still got to cook dinner. I still got to be sisters to my friends. I still got to be, you see what I'm saying? I still got to go and get my oil change. Life don't stop because of what people say. People going all in, you know why? And it's people behind the screen. And I realize that too. And it's a lot of miserable people out here. And that's what they feed off of. They feed off of that. It makes them feel good and strong to be able to sit behind a screen and talk crap about somebody that they're probably never going to meet ever in their life. So the chats, it didn't matter to whatever. I was interested in you guys' point of view. That's why I picked certain YouTubers that would blog about the show and do reviews. I only select certain ones that I decided I wanted to watch. Because even just the people in the chat, it was people that was giving reviews. That B she just stupid. She just dumb. She just like, dang, give some grace. You don't even know us like that. You watched the 3-minute and 25-second clip and she dumb and stupid? How ignorant of you. So yeah, so just like them and just like some of the people in the chat, I don't entertain them. I don't entertain them. It's too many people out here that love me that don't like me. So I'm going to focus on the people that love me.
I love it. That is the right attitude. And don't you worry, the another rounders over here, it's all love. And we got our moderators out there. So if anybody gets too crazy, they're going to go, bye.
Honey, some of them are the moderators. But anyway.
Oh, no.
They might be, but you know, like
we won't let it
Jay,
go.
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
They might be.
Keep it at 100.
Oh, Lord.
Come on now. Y'all talking to Sabrina now, you know.
Listen, well, tonight it's going to be all love. Trust.
Listen, Sabrina be in there before she say she in there.
Oh, Lord. We just, like she said, we just start seeing those eyes pop up. We like, up. We hitting on something.
No, but I love it. And it's like in all y'all, and everyone has an opinion. Even when y'all say something negative about me or people in the chat, like, oh God, I didn't like the way Sabrina set Shawn up. Sabrina set Shawn up. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though it was a story behind that and I didn't, production is actually the one that's, but you know, it is what it is. But you guys only saw what you saw on TV. Y'all didn't know the behind the scenes of it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, how can I fault you? But guess what? Sabrina might not be your favorite person and you have a feeling about how you feel about Sabrina. And this is what you got to say about Sabrina. But you were respectful about it. Like you wasn't calling me a B and a this and a that. And you understand what I'm saying? So it's different. Like people could talk and review all day long, but it's just how like you go about it. And y'all were very like, opinionated, but you was real like professional about it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? In other words. And I like that about y'all. And that's why I watched y'all.
Opinionated. We had a couple of debates back and forth. I tried to play devil's advocate on that part, but they wasn't trying to hear me on it.
I see you.
I was like, look, y'all don't know. But hey, Shawn cleared it up. He cleared it up. I think he did a very good job of clearing it up.
Yeah, because I really was doing that man a favor. Like in real life, another cast member didn't want him to meet the family. I get it. And honestly, he needed more camera time. Put it out there. And they were like, just do us this favor, give him the camera time. And I was like, you know what? I will. Because he did just get here. And it was like, you know, it's like, Dad, like she didn't want to meet with him. Like she could have just been like, me and him, we just met. And that's what I did. I was like, you know, even though I just met him like a week and a half ago, like I feel like he's a great person. So that's why he's here meeting you guys. Because in real life, they like, why he here? Because that's what I told them. I was like, I don't really feel comfortable with him meeting my friends. I was like, like, he ain't really been around that long. And they was like, please, Sabrina, just do this for us. And I was like, okay. You know, so when I went in and all y'all saw was me saying, well, he this and he that, and it looked like I was throwing Shawn under the bus, but these are my friends. So I went and told them, this is about Walter. Walter, don't be calling me. Walter, don't be on my line. Walter this, Walter that, Shawn this, Shawn that, Shawn this. Y'all are my friends. Now go. You know, but keep in mind, like, I just met Shawn a week ago. Like, I just need y'all to understand that too. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it was. It wasn't like I just told negative stuff about Shawn to my friends and they just went on him. No, because they didn't show the part where my friends was like, why you not calling, Walter? Your wife passed away 20 years ago. Well, what you been doing for 20 years? Well, why this? And why? You see what I'm saying? They showed the editing showed what they wanted to show. And then it looked like my friends was the firing squad as Shawn. But then on top of that, in real life, Shawn wasn't really answering the answers like Like he kind of did set himself up. you see what I'm saying? On top of it. And that's why I'm looking like, dang, like I'm just giving him, trying to give him some more camera time. And in real life, when I was getting Mike, the production go to my friends and was like, grill him, do this, do that, get him good. So I'm thinking I'm just going out like, hey guys, y'all ready? Like, oh, I hope this is going to be so much fun. I'm so glad y'all are here. Excuse me. And I didn't have 5 friends that originally, it was only supposed to be 3 friends. Stuff got messed up where they messed up and it was only supposed to be 3, but then it ended up being 5 because they had all my friends, because everyone got COVID tests. Okay. In order to be on the show, everybody got to get COVID tests every week. Everybody, anybody. So what had happened was they said, give us 3 of your friends. 2 of your friends will be backups just in case the other 2 or the other 3 don't confirm. So the 3 had confirmed, but then they still had the other 2 go get COVID tests. One of my friends drove 2 hours from South to be here, which was Angel, to be here to do the show. And she was like, Sabrina, I don't really want to do this. The only reason I'm doing it is I'm doing it for you. And then I had another friend that was supposed to work because we were supposed to shoot that Friday. So what happened is she ended up driving 2 hours. The other one wasn't going to do it because she was supposed to work. Come to find out, the day was changed. Stuff happened. And they was like, well, we got all 5 of them coming. And I'm like, what in the world? Because it was only supposed to be 3.
I was wondering, and that was going to be one of the questions. Why did you have so many people grilling him?
Because they said, give us 3. They said, give us 5. We only need 3, but give us 2 just in case someone falls out.
So instead of just having the 2 sit on the side, they just said, we put them all on the couch.
Because they had inconvenienced them. They had them drive 2 hours and do all this other stuff to do COVID tests, telling them, yeah, we're going to start filming. Go ahead and come. But honey, it was a lot because in real life, it was 2 people dealing with the situation. So one person told the 3, then the other person told the other 2 too. So it ended up being 5 when it was only supposed to be 3.
Okay.
I didn't need 5 friends there.
I was like, she brought all her friends.
I didn't need 5 friends. Are they all they were my close friends at the time? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Some of them, 9, but yeah. But I had to find 5 people because what if I had only had 3 or 2 or 3 and then I didn't have the 2 and then 2 couldn't make it and then it was just the 1, which would have been fine with me. But they said, give us 5, 3 definites and then 2 maybes just in case.
Oh, they was playing spades.
That wasn't my fault that stuff had messed up and one person had said that we only gonna use 3. They even called the other 2 and was like, oh, never mind, we don't need you. They like, what? I done took off of work. I done drove 2 hours to get the COVID test. I done did this, like you inconveniencing me. And then the other producer was like, or whoever was part of it, I don't know at that point because I didn't have nothing to do with it. Then they was like, screw it, just tell them all to come. And I'm like, then what was all that for? Like, y'all, it's a lot. Y'all stop.
So like, did they get paid? Did they get paid for it?
No, I don't think so.
They didn't even get paid. They just inconvenienced the people and just.
Well, they were doing it because they were supporting me. But like I said, it was only 3 of them because Angel, I told Angel, like, you didn't have to do it. She's one of my bestest friends. And she was like, I'll do it for you. But she was one of the 2. And then the other one was Layla. She said she had to work. She didn't think she was going to be able to do it. But that was on Friday. But then they switched my date to, I think that's Saturday. So the whole day, everything had changed. And it was 2 people working on my package or my situation. I don't know, man. I just feel like it was just a lot of miscommunications. It was a lot of like loose ends and it was just a lot.
Did they at least feed them?
No.
Okay.
We wasn't there long.
What about a traveling stipend?
Yeah, we wasn't there long. No.
I was gonna say that's why Shawn got what he got because they was hungry and stuff, ready to get over it, and they ready to go eat.
Yeah, we didn't film, but honestly, filming the friends, it wasn't long. It wasn't long. It was really like a lot of stuff happened.
Interrogated? Is that why he felt interrogated?
Who?
Because Shawn, because he said he kind of felt interrogated. Is that why? Because
he felt interrogated because the producer was like, go in on him, get him. But I didn't know none of this took place. I just went in and they were like, okay, Sabrina, go ahead and tell your friends. So all that part was filmed, but this was after I got mic'd. I don't know what the producers told my friends prior to me coming in the room. So when I came in the room, that's when I was like, okay, Shawn X, Shawn Y, Shawn Z, Walter, X, Y, Z for Walter. Those are my issues that I'm having with them. Y'all are my friends. I want y'all to find out a little bit more about how they feel on that stuff. Like, it was to the point where one of my friends even said to Walter, was like, you need to call Sabrina more. Stop playing. He was like, I know I got to do better. They didn't show that. And that was on my friend's day. And I think that was episode 6 or 7. So, and that's why when he'd be like, I don't know, I'm like, come on, dog. Like, it was filmed. They were there. To the point where my friends, even after the show, they was like, yo, they didn't show a lot of stuff. And my friends knew what was happening while we was filming, because it was my sister, she knew from the beginning to the end, because she and I would call, and when she would watch stuff back, she would get so frustrated to the point where she was like, I'm about to go on live. That's not right. She like, that's not what happened. I'm like, man, we kind of all feeling some type of way about certain things. I'm like, you just got to let it ride, like how we letting it ride. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying editing is everything, but I'm saying that in real life, they left a lot of stuff out. Like, how me and Walter, how I'm his number one, and we just have a connection like that throughout the whole thing. Like, it was a lot of stuff that happened that you guys didn't see. And it just makes me feel some type of way, because I'm like, that was a waste of makeup day. That was a waste of outfit. That was a waste of gas. That was a waste of time for me to do all that and go do all this for a day, 6 hours to 8 hours of filming. And then y'all don't even show nothing. Not even a second of it. It was a lot of dates that happened that you guys didn't see. Like, I just feel like the very first part was they was focused on Corey, and then after that it was focused on Camille and Cornelius. Like, they left a lot of stuff out with us because, you know, and that don't have nothing to do with me. It ain't my show. I gave them the footage and I'd signed that contract saying that obviously you could do whatever you want with it. But they did. It was like they pieced out what they wanted to piece out in the show, and what they wanted to present to you guys and how they wanted to present it. But like, y'all sitting there watching it, y'all are confused about a lot of things. Shit, I was too. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, make it make sense. Stop. It's frustrating. And I know I'm not the only one.
Shawn, you look like you was about to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mentioned that there was a lot of things that were left out. That, yeah. Can you think of one thing like significant that you were like, I really wish they would have shown this?
I wish they would have shown the dates with me and Walter, because we had a whole boxing date and we did the racetrack, and those were really good dates, but they didn't show those dates. I wish they would have shown more of the, I wish they would have shown the we chose each other scene at the house when we were in the garden. Like, you know, a lot of stuff would have made a lot of sense. Like, I can't speak for any of the other cast members and their journey, but I just mean for like me and my journey, especially with these guys. Like, I wish they would have shown, you know, more of the interaction that I had with Frank. You know what I mean? Like, even with Frank, like, he and I even discussed on my green screen, you know, the little golf ball that he gave to Mumin. He gave me a golf ball too, with my name on it. It's on my Instagram page. I posted it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff that, you know, wasn't shown. People are like, Sabrina didn't have any connections. She should have self-eliminated. No, I wasn't going to self-eliminate because I had more connections.
Okay. How many connections did you actually have? Who are you all connected to?
So in the beginning, I definitely had a connection with Phil. I had a connection with Frank. I had a small connection at that time with Dante, but he and I off camera, like, we kept playing phone tag with each other. So it was a lot. But when we did talk, it was like, I might want to explore this. So we did. We started calling each other and texting each other, but it was like that connection just, it was like here. You know what I mean? So it was like it just never happened. And then of course the connection that I had with Walter, you know. So, you know, and that's why I was so frustrated when I was on the bubble date with Frank. And, you know, the stuff that he was feeding me just about, you know, like you're on the bottom because, you know, you really aren't calling the guys. I'm like, I call y'all. I be texting y'all and I be calling y'all. Stop, Frank. I'm like, because I actually just text you on Tuesday and I didn't even hear back from you until like Thursday or Friday. I was like, so stop it, Frank. You know, like, hey, how are you? How's your day? Wouldn't hear from him till like 2 or 3 days later. Or a lot of times I wouldn't hear from him until it was like that week of them being put on the chopping block. So it was like, hey, Sabrina, like, how's your day? I'm like, I hear from you on Monday, but I ain't hear from you last week on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? When women was up, like, kind of be consistent. You know, and I told them, I was like, if y'all not feeling me, even this was right before the house and this was right before the whole Walter thing and everything, like these guys knew. I was like, I got text message, I got receipts. Like, I was like, look, if y'all not Phil, if you not feeling me, keep it real. Frank, if you not feeling me, keep it real. Walter, just hit me back when you get a chance. Okay. So, I mean, and that's just how it was. And I was like, because I need to wind it down because we got like 1 or 2 weeks left in this process. I want to say it was like 2 weeks when I went on that bubble date with Frank, because I was like, for real. Because at that point, that's when I got hip to the game of everything. And I'm just like, I'm tired at this point. I told them, let me know. I'll self-eliminate. It ain't that serious. I don't got to leave with nobody. It's not that serious, dudes. Like making it to the end of the show, it was already 2 weeks before the show was supposed to air. If I wanted to have my 15 minutes, I had it when on the casting interview. My face is on the screen already. To make it to the end for what? To fake and be with what? To make a pact with who for what? To win what prize? Come on, guys. Like, stop. I do very well in my clothing business. I don't need a show to like, I do very well. Just like how I reach thousands and thousands of people, all I got to do is spend $100 in Facebook ads and on Instagram ads, and I can reach the same amount of people.
This is true. So I heard your list of names, but we had kind of left one off.
Who?
Tyrone.
Oh, yes. I did leave Tyrone out. Absolutely.
So, according to a live earlier, you had a wonderful connection with Tyrone.
I did.
Were you going to choose him?
It's a process. I wasn't trying to pull a Tyrone and have it in a Shiloh happen. It's a process. How I'm going to put all my eggs in one bag. How am I have a conversation with Tyrone and say, Tyrone, you sure you want to put all your eggs in one basket? And then I turn around and do the same thing. Make it make sense for me, Jay.
It was said.
I heard what was said, but make it make sense for me. How I'm gonna give advice to Tyrone about putting all his eggs in one basket, and was even like, you ever watched this show before? But then I turn around and then I'm gonna just choose him. And it was only 3 weeks into it. How I'm gonna choose him? What I'm gonna tell Frank? Frank, I'm choosing Tyrone. Phil, I'm choosing Tyrone. Dante, I just thought about it. I'm going to just choose Tyrone. Walter, I really like you. We have a very, very strong connection. I really care about you and everything. But guess what? I'm going to just choose Tyrone. Come on. You see what I'm saying? Like, it don't make, I don't know. I ain't know Tyrone from a can of paint. I'm going to choose Tyrone for what? I ain't know what if Tyrone don't choose me? That just doesn't make sense to me. So, I mean, it is what it is, but guess what? Everyone has their own opinion. They have their own perception. If that's how they gathered that information, if that's how they mentally processed it, and that's what they came up with in their head, I can't stop anyone for that. I was absolutely in my feelings because I was like, this dude was selling me dreams. But I wasn't like, you see what I'm saying? Because if I was in my feelings, why would I go to him and be like, Tyrone, I want to talk to you as a friend. As a matter of fact, keeping it 102, me and Tyrone did a live a few days ago. Somebody actually recorded that live. I didn't save the live. Somebody recorded it and put it on YouTube. So if y'all got questions about that, y'all can go back and watch that live. It's on one of these YouTube channels. I saw it. Somebody recorded it. That was the real, and it was me and Tyrone on the live. And everything I'm telling you, I said to him, and he didn't deny it. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
So, question for you now. At the mixer, when you first met, he was singing some song, and I don't know if he was singing in Korean or whatever, but you wasn't giving him the time of day. So at what point did you warm up to Tyrone?
That's not true. Me and Tyrone, we had a great conversation.
Okay.
That initial, when I first walked in and he was singing that song to me. So I speak Korean. I understand it. I can't have like a that kind of conversation with you. Okay. But if I get dropped off in Korea somewhere, trust me, I'm gonna be okay. Okay. So whatever song he was singing, I just didn't understand what he was saying. That's why I was like, yeah, I speak it like not fluently, but I don't understand what you're saying. So even after that, like when me and Tyrone talked, we had a whole like scene. Me and him, we really had a great conversation. And then later on that night, me and Walter were talking and Tyrone walked by and he like kind of gritted on me. And I was like, what in the world? I was like, did he just grit on me? I was like, he do realize I got to talk to other people first. I was like, why he look mad? I was like, anyway. So towards the end of the night, I was giving all the guys hugs. And then I went to Tyrone and I was like, I want to give you a hug, but you all right? I said, because I saw you gritting on me or whatever. He was like, no, I was just tired, whatever. I was like, So few of us, we did swap numbers, whatever. So after that, me and Tyrone, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to him, whatever. And I want to say I was the one that reached out first. So he and we had the conversation, we talked, whatever. And the more and more I talked to Tyrone, I was like, wow, I'm really feeling Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? So he opened up to me and I appreciated it. He was honest, he was authentic, he was transparent, and I was really digging his vibe just because a lot of people that I've dealt with, in my past, not on this show, I didn't get that transparency. It was like they introduced me to their representative because they were trying to get me to like them, and to have that from Tyrone was refreshing. And then talking to some of the other dudes, it was in the beginning, it was very, very surfaced. From Tyrone, I didn't get that. So,
I know in Little Black Book, you spoke on your childhood, your dad being in the military, and then a person you dated was in the military. Mm-hmm. Did that give you a pause or more attraction to Tyrone?
No, it wasn't anything. I was attracted to Tyrone because I was attracted to Tyrone. Because he was in the military, and then people are like, she chose him because her baby daddy must act like let me tell you something. If anybody act like my daddy, I don't want you. Okay. I don't, because my dad is very disciplined. He's very stern. He's very cold. He's very, you know what I mean? So being in the military, no, not at all. I had a connection with Phil. I had a connection with Walter. My connection with Walter was stronger. Walter not in the military. It's just ironic that my dad was in the military, someone I didn't really have a relationship with. My daughter's father, he was in the military, but that don't have nothing to do with my dad. They didn't act nothing like each other, and Tyrone act nothing like my dad or my daughter's father. I mean, these are three completely different men that had the same job background, period. That's all it is. Like, people need to stop fishing so much.
Okay. So if you're thinking about the misconceptions, what's one misconception about Sabrina that you would want to clear up in this process?
Oh, wow. I feel like I've done so much talking in so many interviews that I don't know. I feel like I've cleared everything up. Let me think. Mm, I didn't cuss Zadi out at the reunion. I didn't cuss her out. Did I say shit when I was talking? I was like, yeah, you've been treating me like shit. She was like, well, I can't be Sabrina's friend. She just cursed me out. I was like, I did not just curse that girl out. I said, you've been treating me like trash. And you know what I'm saying? And I said the word shit to her. I wasn't cussing her out. I was spitting facts and she couldn't handle it. So when she said, Sabrina just no, we can't be friends. Sabrina just cussed me out. That's when I was like, B. I was like, now I just cursed, because I did just curse then, you know? Do I just go around calling women bees? No. Like, I don't even say that jokingly to my girlfriends. Like, what's up, B? You know what I'm saying? You crazy, B? No, I don't. I don't do that. But, you know, it's just that she was just trying to pull that victim card again, and I didn't like it. For like, you keep saying that people are doing this and people are doing that. It's like, okay, yeah, now I'm doing it. Now what? You know? It just hurt me to my heart that we had to even go through that kind of stuff, man. It made me feel some type of way. You know, when I was sitting at the table with Sydney, when she was talking about the guys, talking about, well, I'm just trying to get to know everybody. And I love Sydney. I've said it in my interviews. I love Sydney. What you see on screen is the real Sydney. She is a sweetheart, okay? She is not like, she is a girl's girl, and I love that. Every time I see her, I want to be like, oh, let me just kiss your cheeks, girl. You so sweet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love Sydney. So I'm going to tell you what happened. So when we were in deliberation and she was talking about getting to know all the guys or whatever, and I was like, oh, okay. So I did that because when she was talking about getting to know all the guys, she goes, yeah, you know, like, I just got here, guys. Like, I'm just trying to get to know everyone. She was like, because, you know, like, I'd be talking to Walter and I'd be talking to this person and I'd be talking to that person. I was like, you be talking to Walter? She was like, yeah. I said, well, I just talked to Walter like 2 days ago and he told me that he don't really be talking to you. I said he even was like, I'll show you my phone. Like, I've talked to her maybe one time on the phone or 2 times on the phone, and we probably sent a total of 3 or 4 text messages between us. He was like, I don't, you know, he was like, because I think we had the conversation. I was like, so how are you feeling about Sydney or whatever? He was like, yeah, I pretty much told her, like, I'm not trying to add nobody else to the roster. Like, I got too much going on or whatever. So he explained to me. So when she said that she had talked to, she was like, I'd be talking to Walter. I was like, I said, that's interesting. I said, because I actually just talked to Walter and Walter said he don't really be talking to you. She was like, no, I be talking to Walter. And I was like, oh, okay. That's where that came from. I wasn't trying to shade Sydney. Me and Sydney and Aisha, we have always had each other's back, especially towards the end. So it was no shade to her. And that's why I did that. Because she said that she was talking to Walter. And I even told Walter, and I said, well, Walter, I talked to Sydney and she said she be talking to you. He was like, that's not true. He was like, I'll show you my phone. I was like, no, you don't have to show me anything. Because at this point, I just felt like wasn't nobody being genuine. I was just like, I'm just done. So just like Walter, and I think it was a couple of us. Like, I was like, I don't even know if I even want to deal with this because I don't know if this is true. If this, like, it's so many lies, all this fighting and crap and behind the scenes and the issues over here and the fighting over here and people meeting up. They're not supposed to meet up. And then I'm hearing that people hooking up on a whole nother personal level. And I'm just like, yo, I was like, maybe I'm just not built for this. Like, for real, man. Like, it was a lot. Like, it was a lot. I had no idea. People ask me all the time, would I ever do a show like this again? Heck to the no. Never. Ever. Never, ever, ever.
Well, it's off your bucket list now. You got it out.
And I did want to do it. I did. But I just thought it was just going to be a dating show. Like, I didn't think that I was going to be having to survive for my life. And I had to, you know, wear boxing gloves in the middle of it. And, you know, I mean, it's just, I'm just glad it's
Return
freaking
to
over with.
Walter. Did you tell him to not self-eliminate?
Of course, and he told me that. Yeah,
You both
absolutely.
told each
'Cause
other
he was,
not to self-eliminate.
yeah, because a lot of us, and it wasn't just us two, like I said earlier, it was a lot of us that felt like that because stuff just started to happen and it just started to get a lot.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? To the point you're investing all these hours and hours and hours, and then you don't know what's real at this point. Then you got this he said, she said, and then you got these fights going on, and then you got these lies, and then you got people in people's ear. It just started to become very high schoolish. So a lot of us at that point, we were done, man. We were done. But people were like, let's just go, like we were each other's cheerleaders, like let's just go and see where it just takes. Don't leave. Like let's just really see where it takes us. You know what I'm saying? And that was it was a few of us that felt like that.
Around what week do you say you had it and he had to talk you off the ledge?
With the whole Frank situation. When I was on a bubble date with Frank, and then they was like, see, she not calling, she not this, whatever, and she don't want kids, and and I'm like, come on, dogs. Like, I've talked to y'all about this, and I do call y'all. I do communicate with y'all. Y'all are the ones that aren't communicating with me. Like, I'm just not gonna sit there and let Frank just say to me, but you got to also remember Frank was saying what was told to him to be said. You see what I'm saying? And it just wasn't true. And it just made me feel like, Dad, was y'all just trying to get a reaction out of me because y'all know that that's not true? Like, I've been saying this for weeks. Like, y'all know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been saying it for weeks. Like I'm calling y'all. Like, I just needed to be reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? And then it would be consistent for a couple days, consistent here, whatever. And I know everybody got lives, but I'm busy too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my daughter with me while I'm filming. Keep in mind, like, I'm a single parent. I don't have nobody to just, so when I'm done filming, it's just me and her 24/7. But if I want to call and talk to you for about 30, 35 minutes, I'm going to call you and be like, hey, just wanted to step out the room or whatever. Just wanted to come and just give you a phone call, whatever. Like I said, you make time for what you want to make time for.
Was Walter aware of your expectations of how you wanted to be courted, so to speak, as far as phone calls, how much you want?
Walter knew, just like I told you on my friend's date. My friends was like, you need to call more. You need to start showing up. And I was like, yeah, Walter, you need to call more. You need to start showing up. So it's not like I'm very, like, communication is huge with me. It's huge. And the reason it's huge with me, because I've been in relationships where I was the one that didn't communicate as much. I would sit back and be like, I'm gonna just see what happened. That's not me. Because once I realized that you don't communicate, I realized it didn't work. I was like, I really have to change my ways. I have to change some things about myself, especially moving forward if I'm going to be in a relationship and I want a successful relationship. So communication is so, so important, because how can you expect anyone to do anything with you, for you, if they don't know that's what you want?
Right.
Like, how can I hold you accountable? How can I hold you accountable if I never told you? So guess what? If I told you, you need to call me more, if you need to show up more, like, at least meet me halfway. Like, if I told you these things and you don't, I can't hold you accountable. But if I told you these things and you don't, I can say, you and I, we've communicated with each other. We've talked to each other about this. Like, I told you my concerns. So I just don't understand why. Like, and then if you don't do it, I can't be like, he ain't calling me. He ain't said, but guess what? I ain't never tell him I want him to call me. Like, I can't expect for him to call me if I don't tell him I want you to call me. So when you don't call me, when you don't communicate with me, or when you don't show me affection or attention or whatever the case may be, and that goes for any situation, I can't be like upset with him or whoever I'm dealing with. Like, I can't be upset with you. How? I never told you I wanted these things. But so, yeah, I absolutely communicate how I feel and what I want and my expectations. Absolutely.
Shawn.
So I know we had the Walter interview a little earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Some things came up there about, obviously he had somebody on the side that was taking care of his needs during this process. I think that came up. What are your thoughts about all of that? Like, anything else you want to dive into that you feel like wasn't a full depiction of things that took place?
Okay. So when Walter started this process, when we started this show, it had come to me from another castmate that it was mentioned Walter had a girlfriend. And I was like, dang, okay, let's just move forward. So it was a lot of stuff. So he's right. A lot of stuff was told to me. And people, had come. I'm not going to say a lot of people were in my ear. It wasn't a lot of people in my ear. It was only one person I was talking to that had this information. That was on the show. And once they told me this information, it was like, like, how do I want to handle this? Like, I don't want to jump into this and think, because at this point, like, I'm like, do I communicate with him? You see what I'm saying? Like, how do I, so make a long story short, I did go to him and we did have a conversation. And he did say that it was someone that he had dealt with for about 1.5 years, that they were dealing with off and on or whatever. I don't know. I don't even think he said off and on. It was someone that he was dealing with for about 1 year, 1.5 years. And she wanted something more. He wasn't ready for that. And towards the end of the show, I guess whatever happened with him and her, they couldn't reconcile things. And, and this is what he's telling me. And this is not the same story that I got. Okay. So let me just say that. So stuff happened. I guess they ended up deciding to part ways, and she had moved out of his house. So all this kind of happened within like the first couple of weeks of the show being aired, or not being aired, but us filming the show. So mind you, I didn't find this out until later on in filming. So all this is happening in his life. I don't know this is happening. Okay. It was told to me later on. So I was like, dang. I said, so even though it wasn't his girlfriend, it was a situationship, maybe, I don't know, but it still happened for 1.5 years, a year and a half. She was living with you. She just kind of moved out a couple weeks before you started filming. So I was like, so in my head, I was like, I don't think that's nobody that's ready to love. I was like, because I even been in situationships myself, okay? And if I'm dealing with someone on a situationship basis for 1 year, 6 months or whatever, it's some kind of feelings there. I don't care how you downplay it. It's some type of feelings there, okay? So I did go to him and I did talk to him about this, and he did explain his point of view. And pretty much what I just said is what he told me. He was like, it wasn't like that. Once she started to like want more, it was like, he wasn't really feeling it, whatever. So he did tell me those things. I appreciated it, but still in my head, I'm like, even though you said you didn't want a relationship, like you had this woman living with you, you guys dealt with each other for like a whole 1.5 years, even though y'all was dealing with other people, y'all were dealing with each other. Like, I've been in situationships before. Come on now. I was born at not last night. Like, I just feel like she just moved out a couple weeks before filming, and then you were still kind of dealing with her while we were filming. I don't know. I'm not trying to be with nobody. And then too, it was like once he told me everything, so a lot of stuff for me with that situation and just with a lot of stuff, meeting his ex that wasn't his ex and the situationship with that, and then me meeting his family and them saying that he affectionate but he wasn't towards me. I don't know, it was everything, all that you got to think happened within the last week to 2 weeks before the bridge. So all this was like bam, 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 and then the bridge. And I'm like, you see what I'm saying? So it wasn't just like I had known all this in the beginning. I had known all this. You see what I'm saying? And then the whole situation with his girlfriend or whoever, whatever she was to him, like that's his girlfriend with benefits at that point. I don't know. If I deal with somebody for a year, whatever. So what happened is she and I, we have a mutual friend. And I heard what he was saying, even though other stuff was told to me from someone else about the lady or the girl or her. And once I had talked to a friend of mine that actually had spoken to her, and that was in the same, like maybe 4 days before the bridge scene, me and that person talked for like a few hours about it, because they didn't even know that Walter was on the show with me. And once it was like, hey, how you been? How you done? Yeah, I've been filming a show for real. Yeah, it's about to come out. Yeah. And this is someone that is very close to me, but I just haven't talked to them in a while. So once we started talking and they had mentioned something, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, you talking about Walter? I was like, Walter the boxer? They was like, yeah. I was like, I'm on the show. I was like, hold on. So without putting everything out there, so that person is very close to the female, Walter's friend or whoever she is. And once the person started to give me receipts on stuff, that's what made me be like, stuff not adding up. Because the friend that I'm talking to is giving me information about stuff that happened on the show, stuff that was being filmed, stuff that happened at castmates' parties and houses, stuff that no one should know but us castmates. So when my friend of 20 years called me just to say hi, and they're telling me all this stuff that this girl is telling, I'm like, but he told me he wasn't really talking to her like that. But how she know all this stuff about the show?
So this friend called you you say about 4 days before the bridge scene?
Right.
And told you all of this?
Yes.
So this is at the very end, pretty much.
Right. So on top of him not telling me the truth about Shiloh, on top of the fact that that I had found out, and he did kind of confirm that, he was in that situation with the lady, and they kind of broke it off right before filming. On top of that, on top of the fact that, like, he wasn't communicating the way that I needed him to. It wasn't being reciprocated, because he says a lot that I wasn't calling him, and I wasn't towards the end. Yeah. Because I told him when we was in the car going to the house, I was like, I'm not calling you no more. I'm not taking the initiative no more. I was like, you making me feel some type of way, like I'm chasing you. I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I said, so when I go to the house, I'm going to swim on my floaty. I'm going to drink this champagne. I'm going to eat this food. And I said, if whoever joins me, joins me. So he knew. And he like, everybody knew she was my number one. Mumin was like, I knew that she was his. Everybody keeps saying that he said that I was his number one. Guess what, Shawn? You my number one today, okay? I'm just letting you know. Jay, you going to be my number one tomorrow, okay?
But we know, Shawn. At least we know.
At least we know where we stand.
Right. Like I can tell
And
y'all
he's gonna
all day
choose you when
long.
we get to the bridge, right?
Yeah, like I can tell you all day long.
Did he tell you at any point you was his number one?
When we were at the house and we were leaving, and that was like a week before the bridge, because we had both chosen each other at that point. But I'm thinking, you told me you're choosing me in the garden when we were filmed. You told me you were choosing me. So I'm thinking he about to show up. Like, okay, finally, we are on the same page. I'm thinking this about to be my boo, not my husband, not my boyfriend. This about to be my boo. Like, he's telling me I'm feeling you. That's what I got from it. After that, I ain't hear from him no more. For real.
Nothing changed.
Nothing changed. So I'm thinking that he had to go through the motions and he had to figure stuff out. And that's why I wasn't really hearing from him. And I wasn't going to press the issue. I wasn't gonna do it. But at that point, was I calling him? Was I texting him? Yeah. But when I saw that it wasn't really being reciprocated and he was dying down, I was like, I'm gonna just let it die down too. I was like, I can't. But once we had that long conversation when he had his little Savage Fenty on and he brought me the tea and we talked for like 3 hours on my porch, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, finally, like we're on the same page. But that's not what happened. So we left and then, you know, we talked maybe a little bit here, a little bit there, but nothing really changed. And I knew in my head at that point, I wasn't going to chase after him. I wasn't going to call him like that. So when he said Sabrina wasn't calling me like that either, it was the very last week of the show of filming. Absolutely. Because guess what? You had 9 weeks of my attention.
Well, so before then, was he not calling you enough, or was he calling you?
We would talk here and there, but like I said, I know how it feels to have a man pursue me. I'm not saying he had to call me every day 24/7. I mean, I would go days and not hear from him. And sometimes I would even send him texts. I remember when I wanted to talk to him about the whole Shiloh thing, afterwards, after I had talked to her and I had found out that he had lied to me. I remember that morning I called him. He texted me later on that afternoon and was like, I'm gonna call you back. I'm doing some work stuff. Didn't hear from him. I texted him that night and was like, yo, give me a call. I really want to talk to you. I didn't hear from him, I think, until late, like 10 o'clock that night. No, I want to say I didn't hear from him until the next morning, like 10 o'clock that morning. So you see what I'm saying? So at this point, because I had talked to Shiloh. So at this point, I was like, now I need to talk to Walter because I need to get clarity on why he wasn't truthful with me with the Shiloh situation. I'm not saying that he had to tell me. I'm just like, Dad, why couldn't you just tell me that you promised her you couldn't say anything to anyone because of the severity of the situation? And I even think, he said in this interview, we all know Sabrina. She would have been like, so you ain't gonna tell me? Let me tell you something. I pop off when it's necessary. I'm still a 46-year-old grown-ass woman, okay? I don't have to pop off just because y'all saw a whole total of 6 minutes on TV with me popping off on situations where I should pop off. Don't mean I'm just gonna always pop off. I have a lot of patience. I had to learn that when I became a single mom, okay? When I'm raising a 77-year-old man that has a brain of a 2-year-old. Trust me, I have a lot of patience. When it's time for me to pop off, I will. But I'm not going to pop off when you're trying to tell me out of respect for a friend of yours that, or whomever, with anything, that you want to keep that with them and just be honest with me. All he had to do was say, look, it's a messy situation. Because it was the Phil and Shiloh situation with the whole putting, all he had to do was say Sabrina, I really can't talk about it. And I would have been like, dag, that's deep. Like, I respect it. That's all I would have said. So for him to, and that just shows that in real life, you don't know me that well. Pop off for you for what? Because you didn't tell me the truth? No, that's the truth. You promised her you couldn't say anything. So you just gonna say, nah, I don't know nothing. I ain't hear nothing. Well, the reason I said that I wasn't supposed to know anything, the reason I told Sabrina that no, I didn't know anything was because I promised Shiloh, same girl that put you on the bottom with the squad, same girl that threw you under the bus. No, I promised Shiloh that, you know, I wasn't going to say anything. So how can I say that I know anything if I promised her that I wasn't supposed to know anything anyway? I mean, I get it, but still, you a grown man. Like you don't. If someone says, Jay, if you tell me I ate chicken yesterday, don't say nothing. But then your fiance comes and asks me, did Jay have chicken yesterday? I'm gonna be like, nope. I'm gonna be like, look, I don't know what's going on with you and Jay, because mind you, this is your fiance. This is someone that you obviously have a situation with, okay? Like you're engaged to this man. Just like me and Walter, I thought we were in a different space to where he didn't have to lie to me like that. You know, I'm gonna be like, look, fiance, I ain't saying she ate you. All I'm saying is you just might need to ask Jay. I ain't gonna be like, nope, she ain't eat chicken. Because me saying she ain't eat chicken is saying she ain't eat chicken, she ate fish. Why would I say you ate fish when that's a whole lie? Why am I say that you didn't eat chicken? How about I just don't say nothing and just say that I promised Jay some things and I told her that I wouldn't discuss certain things. So whatever clarity you need to get, you need to go to Jay.
Or like you said, just go ask that person. Exactly.
Go ask that person. Like that's, I mean, I just don't know. If someone asked me something and someone else said to not say anything, I'm not going to just blatantly lie and say, no, they didn't tell me anything. I don't know. I don't know. But you know what? I can't even be mad at him. I can't even feel no type of way because everybody lives their life different. And how you do things, Jay, and how you do things, Shawn, it might be different than how I do things. All I'm saying is how I feel about things is I wouldn't have lied about it. I would have just been like, out of respect for the other person, I just feel like it's best if I just don't discuss anything. If you want to know, like, you know, you just need to wait and see. You just need to, or just say you don't feel comfortable discussing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it'd have been much simpler. I don't feel comfortable discussing it. That'd have been the best answer.
Yeah, that's it. And I would have just been like, respect. But for him to say I would have popped off and I would have did all this, when I heard that come from his mouth, I was like, he really does not know me. He really does not know me. I choose my battles very wisely. Okay. I'm not going to exert that kind of energy into situations like that because you didn't tell me something. No, only kids act like that. I'm not a child. I don't know. I see a young girl saying, why you ain't gonna tell me? You ain't gonna tell me? You ain't gonna. I see someone that is not that mature popping off. That might be a princess. I don't know. Okay. But we do queen things over here. Okay.
And I would say that's a good point because even in Moomin's interview, she mentioned even when she had come in during a retreat when you and Walter were sitting at the piano, you were very welcoming and engaging to her. Although the energy was a little awkward between her and Walter, she said you were super cool.
Right. But in his interview today, he didn't say that. In his interview today, he was like, he said, I was like, go on, Walter, go and play. You know how Sabrina is with that. No, and Mumim is the woman. And you're absolutely right, because that is the energy I gave. I was like, Walter, stop tripping. I was like, just play the song. I was like, it's not that serious. Because I didn't have a problem with Mumim. You know what I mean? It was a couple times she and we bumped heads in situations, but it wasn't like that because I knew we were on a dating show. What am I be mad at? And plus I see who else she walked in with, and I know that they can, you know what I'm saying, sometimes be messy, but I wasn't going to let it take me out of my character or anything. So you're absolutely right. And what Mumim said was right. Like, she and I, we understood the assignment when it came to me and her and Walter. So with him saying it today, like, that hurt my feelings too, because that's not how I was. I wasn't being like, go ahead and sing it, Walter. Go ahead and sing it. I did not have that kind of energy. That was not true. I don't know, man. It's a lot of stuff he said. I was like, maybe he's just trying to save face, man. I don't know. Just really didn't.
You know what it is, and this is and this is something that I've just learned. And perception really does become reality, right? And listen, I don't know Walter to say he's lying or not, but I think sometimes people just have a way of believing, whether they need to believe what they're saying, or it's really how they have walked away with the interpretation of events. So I think, there's somewhere in the middle there, that situation. But we don't want you to be, worn down by that. Listen, that's his story.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm not. I just don't like it when the truth isn't being told.
I hear you. And we see that. We know that you have been straightforward, even from, when you were talking and you were in the bottom two, and you mentioned like, hey, listen, nobody's reaching out to me. And, I've seen, and we talked about it earlier, there's some consistency with the things that you say. But you know what? We're not going to give that much more time than it needs to be. I think there was some things that needed to be cleared up in the sense of who you are, what you said, what you didn't say. At the end of the day, I think you've been very clear in, stating the facts in terms of you weren't that kind of person. You weren't in a jealous position.
Not at
you
all.
weren't threatened. My last question for you is you at the reunion when Walter, was just talking about how he was taken aback, or that you decided to not choose him at the final ceremony. And what you said to him was, you haven't been calling me. We haven't spoken since I met your family. And you said, had we been in communication, maybe I would have shared that with you. So do you think, like, let's say he had called you the day before, would you have told him, like, listen, I'm not feeling this. I don't see, where this is going.
I absolutely would have. And, and it, because you have to think at that point, I had thought to myself, I'm like, he not really calling me like that. And he hadn't called me since the family day. And it was like 48 hours, I think. And he hadn't called me since I had met his family, because it was like meet the family, then the bridge. So, my thing is that if I hadn't talked to you, so if he would have called me, and I said that to myself, I said, if he called me, I'll tell him. I said, but we're going to see. I said, if he calls me, I will tell him. And then we can not choose each other on the bridge, however he wanted. We could have talked about it and we could have figured it out. But I just felt like he wanted me to call and tell him I wasn't choosing him when I asked him a specific question and he couldn't even tell me the truth. So, and that happened, 4 or 5 days prior to him wanting me to call him to tell him. Like, you couldn't even tell me, like, what you couldn't even give me the same respect. So I can't, I don't, But honestly, keep it 100. If he would have called and been like, hey, babe, like, how you feeling about tomorrow? I'd have been like, I'm not, bruh. Okay, how you feeling? Like, I'm glad you called me, because I'm not going to choose you. As a matter of fact, because I'm not going to choose you, I don't want you to choose me either. And we go on camera on national TV and say that we realized we were just great as friends. We're going to leave this journey with a great friendship, and we're going to take it one day at a time and see where it goes from here. We could have done that. I didn't have a problem with that. It's grown woman stuff over here. I don't play them kind of games. You know what I'm saying? Like, keeping it 100. I don't play them kind of games. Had he called me, that's probably how it would have ended. But he didn't call me. And I'm not going to leave on national TV acting like I'm with this man when my whole husband out there talking about, Dad, I wish she was single and she wasn't with Walter. When in real life, I'm like behind the green screen, the black glass, and he's in the mirror, and I'm behind here like, I'm single for real. I'm really not with Walter. We not together in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do that. And then I'm not going to do that on TV and my daughter sees it or whatever, and I show her and she's watching it with me and she's like, but mommy, Walter isn't here. So why you say you want to be with him? Like, is he going to be my new daddy? Like, I'm not trying to go through these things. No, stop. I ain't got to do nothing for no cameras. You know what I'm saying? No. Do I have love for Walter? Always will. Because he's right. We did have a connection. I will always be connected to that man. If that man called me tomorrow and was like, put all the BS away, like, Sabrina, I need you, I would be there for him on a drop. You know, the show is the show. What happened on the show happened on the show. When I sit and talk with you guys, it's because I'm talking about the show. But guess what? I still have a whole life outside of the show. He do too. Like, we still real people that have real lives that still really care about each other. But when I get on here and talk to y'all, I'm going to spit the truth. I'm going to spit the facts. But when I click exit, leave studio, I'm back to my normal life. It doesn't change how I feel about Walter, but it's what happened on the show and how he made me feel and the events that I had to go through with him and everyone else is not going to change. So when you guys ask me a specific question, I'm going to give you that answer. Does that mean I got any less love for him? No. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the show and what happened on the show. That's it, people. Stop trying to make it more than what, you know what I'm saying? It is. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to tolerate nobody lying on me either. And somebody saying that they protected me, but then throwing me under the bus at the same time. I'm not going to tolerate that kind of foolishness.
So in real life, now that the cameras are off, lights are down and all of this now, is the DMs popping? Is your husband trying to get out there, reach to you? Is he,
you know what?
Contact?
I'm going to keep it real. I've been single for almost 2 years. I've been single for 2 years. I haven't been intimate with anyone for over a year. Okay. So, I take dating very serious. And honestly, this show has really made me say, you know what? Now I know exactly why I'm single. And I'm going to just stay single. I don't care who in my DMs. I'm not checking them. I'm not checking them. My line is still dry. I'm just not in a place right now where I even want to even deal with it because this show is a lot. So yeah, so did I wear my clothes? Do I promote my brand? Absolutely.
Speaking of, there's a couple of quotes on that site. I was like,
oh. Thank you. You know, but I really thought that this was a situation to like really meet someone, and I said that I was like, if this doesn't, how naive of me. I said, but if this doesn't work out, I was like, I'm good for a while. So I'm just not looking for nothing, you know. Like I said, I haven't been intimate with no one in well over a year. I've been single for 2 years, so I'm just kind of just chilling. I just feel like when it's the right time for me to meet someone, God will send him to me.
I was gonna say, if he walks up, you will be open though.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You better start checking them DMs because he might be walking.
No,
maybe
yeah, but you know what? It's kind of hard because, to be honest with you, you know, and I said that too, and people were like, "You just never know." The thing is I can't speak for nobody else, but for me, like, I want my next relationship to be my last relationship. And right now, I just feel like a lot of people are just in my DMs because I just was on a TV show. You know, like I was like I'm kind of, I guess, popular a little bit now. I've never been popular in my life. I've always been that black sheep, but now it's like I'm kind of popular. So I don't have time to weed through to see if he's genuine, if he just really want to be with somebody that was on TV, or if he really feeling me. I just don't have that time and energy to put into it. Like, I hope I meet someone one day at the grocery store and he walks up to me and says, "Hey, like, I like your hair." I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "My name's Kevin." He's like, "What's your name?" You know why? Because he's never seen me on TV before. That's what I want.
You hear that, Kevin? Get together. Get your itch together and go grocery shopping. Yes, no. But I know we done kept you on here for quite a bit and stuff.
I need to go spend some
Before we go into the things that you do have going, is there anything else that you need to get off your chest before we get into the positive parts and close it out?
No, I mean, I'm good. I just feel like in all of my interviews, I feel like I've given a lot of different information just because I've saved my interviews. In each interview, I dropped different gems. So just to let everyone know, if trying to learn more stuff about me and different things in each interview, and I think the people that seen all my interviews can verify that I've given a different part of me and a little bit of me to each interview that I haven't given to one person.
Anything that you want to promote? How do people find you? You got your channel going.
Yeah, my YouTube channel, and that I do with my daughter, and the photography. My daughter is my photographer. She is my videographer. So all the professional pictures that you guys see that I post of myself in my clothes, my daughter takes all those pictures. She is a published photographer.
Nice.
I do have my YouTube channel, which is Miss Sabrina Seoul. My website, SabrinaSeoul.com, and you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. My handles are all is Miss Sabrina Seoul.
Yeah, I got you down into the description box as well, and we got your shop information scrolling across the screen right now.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate
Make sure to go ahead and do that. I'm gonna ask you now because I'm gonna want to do it in the future. The next season is coming up.
Yes.
I would love to have you on and have a review with you if you don't mind.
Absolutely, I would love to come on with you guys.
With us, we cut up. So
absolutely, it'll be my pleasure to actually finally be on the screen with you guys as I am tonight, instead of being in the chat just throwing out emojis.
Exactly. You can talk your mess all you want. They can't stop you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And the process. So, it'd be fun to have somebody on the inside.
Right.
I would get us back right when we start getting out of line.
Yeah, I would love to.
That's it. You can fact check us. Listen, if you're free tonight, a couple of us from the LBB panel are going to be over on my channel unpacking the second part of the reunion. So, hey, if you're around.
I don't know if I can dip in. It's just because I promised my daughter I would spend some time with her tonight.
Oh, no. You do that.
But I might be on my phone like, LOL. Yes, I see you, Shawn. Nuh-uh. You know what I'm saying? So I might have my phone. She might be right here, but I might have my phone.
Don't get caught with that phone too much now.
Right.
Like you promised.
Yeah, exactly. So just try to give her my attention.
Yeah. Well, like Shawn said, we're gonna bounce on over there to Shawn Unfiltered's page, and start our commentary on last night's episode. Miss Sabrina, it has been an honor and a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're able to share your side of things.
Yes.
And whatnot. You guys, please go check out our fashions. Y'all can get everything but that brown leather coat with the V-cut, baby. That's me, okay? Y'all. I already visualized my whole self in it. I got the boots for it and everything. Y'all.
Thank you.
She got some wonderful stuff over there. So you guys make sure to go check her out. beautiful woman. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
so
Thanks,
much.
guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks, everyone in the chat. Y'all know I don't read the chat, but thank you, everyone in the chat. I appreciate you guys
You
so
got
much.
a lot of love,
Good.
and a little bit of something
Yeah,
else.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
we
It's
get our
always
love.
like that.
we
It's
get
always like
we get
that.
caught up in there, but it's all good. We wouldn't be right if we didn't have it.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta have the good with the bad and the bad with the good.
There you go.
Makes the world go round.
And thank you guys all in the chat. Please like, share, subscribe. And like I say, tell a friend that tells a friend that tells a friend that talks too daggone much to tell everybody else about this channel, because another round is here to stay. Y'all come and play with us some more. And we're going to jump over to Shawn Unfiltered's page. So y'all go ahead, subscribe over there. Yeah. And we're going to cut up some more for the night.
Deuces. Bye, guys.
Bye.